A favorite Memphis restaurant is making a comeback, and so is an expo for coffee lovers. Lots going on for Memphians who love to eat out, and who better to give us the lowdown than Jennifer Biggs. She is the food and dining editor for the Daily Memphian and joins us now from her kitchen in East Memphis. Jennifer, let's start with Hog and Hominy. It burned to the ground in January of 2020 and officially reopens tomorrow in East Memphis, and you feel it's even better than before. Why is that?
I definitely feel that way. Well, the food is very much the same as before, but with some new items on the menu. But the space, Richard, it's just so much warmer. It's at least twice the size. And, you know, we can't say exactly how much bigger it is, but the kitchen is about the size of what the restaurant was before.
Wow.
And no one other than that, they can't say, they just say it's, a whole lot bigger. Warm wood on the walls, on the floor, the tables are warmer. There is still some noise. There used to be a lot of noise in there. It was a real noisy restaurant. But it's not as much as you think. You think it's noisy when you go in, but then you find that you're not straining your voice. It's a beautiful place. Big bar, seats at 24 people around a horseshoe bar, little lounge in the middle, a dining room on one side, lots of outdoor seating, which is, going to remain popular, I think. It's just a big hit. It's what they could do when they weren't tied to the footprint of a 3-bedroom house, which is what they were before.
And we were talking earlier, it's hard to believe, but this is actually the 6th restaurant the duo of Andy and Michael have opened in Memphis. You have their first place, Andrew Michael Italian Kitchen, then Hog and Hominy, Catherine and Mary's, the Gray Canary, Bishop, and Little Betty, which is inside Wiseacre downtown. That is a pretty impressive list of local restaurants.
It really is. And of course, they even operate 8 and Sand, which is the bar inside Central Station. And they have a huge restaurant in New Orleans in the Ace Hotel, Josephine Estelle. So that's a lot. And they opened Andrew Michael in 2008. So they've come in 13 years. They've opened Hog and Hominy twice. There was Porcelinos, which opened and then closed. So really, that's what? 8 restaurants, if you're 9, if you count Hog and Hominy 2 times. They're busy, and every time you talk to them about opening a new restaurant, they do the whole gnashing of doing the fists and saying, why are we doing this? But then they do it again. It's a lot of restaurants. Nobody in Memphis has that many that are, unless it's a fast food franchise or something like that. People with 2, maybe 3, but no more than that.
I got 2 more questions I want to fit in here. First of all, I want to talk about apple pie, especially with Thanksgiving approaching, and one of your favorite desserts.
Listen, that apple pie at Sweetgrass that I wrote about this week, it is fabulous. I don't like usually an apple pie because of the texture of the pie. This one's very different. The apples stay real crisp. It's got a creamy filling in between the apples, heavy streusel on top, which is delicious because it's just pecan and brown sugar and butter. A nice thick crust, sturdy crust. You can go to the restaurant and you can get a piece of pie with your dinner, or just if you want to go get a piece of pie, or you can buy a whole one. It's a little pricey. It's $70 if you buy the whole one, but it is time for us to start thinking about what we're going to be doing for our holiday tables and how we're going to support restaurants, even if we are able to eat at home with our families this year.
Sounds like a real treat. Finally, plenty of coffee lovers watching, I'm sure, and the Grind City Coffee Expo making its pandemic comeback this weekend. What's that about?
Well, they had this in 2019, sorry, and we're so surprised at how many people showed up that they scheduled a big event for 2020, had to cancel it 2 days ahead of when it was scheduled in March of 2020, and it's taken them this long to get it, back together again, but it's much larger. It's real interesting. Chris Harrington wrote the story, but I would just encourage everyone to go to our website and read it, because one thing they talk about is making beer in Memphis. It's about the water, and that coffee too is about the water, and they think they can make really good coffee in Memphis. You can decide coffee or beer.
Okay.
Take your pick.
A tough decision sometimes.
Well, this will be at Wiseacre. You can have both, I guess.
Very good. Well, to read about the Coffee Expo and Hog and Hominy's reopening, just go to thedailymemphian.com. That's thedailymemphian.com. Jennifer Biggs, food and dining editor for the Daily Memphian. Thanks for being with us as always, and we will see you next time.